Hey, so this is the Drunkalogs, a podcast about addiction and recovery in which each guest shares their version of how it was, what happened, and how it is now, and then endures a half-hour Q&A at the hands of your host, Nick Morton.
My next guest grew up in Harbor City, California, where he had a pretty idyllic childhood until one bad decision, a decision he resisted with every fiber of his being, led him down a path that would ultimately result in an arrest on drug charges and a 20-year prison sentence. After doing whatever he needed to survive in jail, and managing his misgivings with booze and heroin, he found an unlikely path to salvation in the form of a 70-year-old lady carrying a pink box. I had first heard a third-hand account of this story from my guest, TJ Bowen, but it was an immense honor to hear the story firsthand. He's been sober for 16 years now and currently works as a clinical supervisor helping incarcerated men prepare for re-entry to the real world. And he has just published an audiobook of his incredible journey, An Inside Job, which is available on Audible. I owe a special thanks to Douglas Mallon for introducing us, and for so many of my recent guests. Won't you please welcome DJ Verrett. So where'd you grow up?
I grew up in California, in Harbor City / Long Beach, California. That's where I grew up.
Yeah, and were you an only kid, or was it a good, happy childhood? Like
happy childhood, Nick. I'm my mother's firstborn.
Uh-huh.
I have two siblings, which are two sisters, and life was good. They had no problems. Had everything, I guess, a kid can have. Under our
circumstances, safe. You play in the streets. You got friends in
yes, it was the 70s, Nick. It was the 70s. So Mrs. Morton. If Miss Morton caught DJ stealing pomegranates from her tree, Mrs. Morton will give DJ a spanking or swat, and then send DJ home to his mom to get another ass. Right. And so that's how it was. That's how it was in the 70s. But yeah, life was good, man. Riding bicycles. I had an Evel Knievel bike. I mowed lawns. I collected cans and golf balls. Sports. It was a small community. Everyone knew each other. But as puberty came, life changed.
Right.
And I was mowing lawns, collecting cans at a certain age, and then my childhood friend, who I grew up together with, he stopped collecting cans and golf balls and mowing lawns. And I remember the day I had bought him a bicycle lock, a brand new lock for his bicycle, and it was a Friday evening, and it was his birthday, and he said, "Thank you, but I don't need it anymore." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, "I got something to show you." He's 2 months older than me. And he showed me he had some keys in his hand. And I said, "What's that?" He said, "I bought a car." and he was 14 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, it was it was an old Monte Carlo. Uh-huh. The radio didn't work, so we had a boom box, and the passenger window didn't roll up. And I was 13, he was 14. And this is why he stopped collecting cans and golf balls. This is why he didn't need the bicycle like I had bought him for his birthday, because he had started selling this new thing called rock cocaine.
Right.
And when I first saw that, every cell in my being was shouting, "Go home, go home, go home." But since I'm amongst my peers, my friend, I chose to stay. I had $27.
Right.
So I turned that $27 into $800 that night.
Wow.
And my life changed.
And what did he like? Did he have the crack on him to like, you're like, I'll buy 27 off of you, or did he take you to his guy and?
Oh, we went to the neighborhood guy, which was his people, and he was selling the weight at the time.
Mhm.
And he was like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, he said, DJ gonna start slanging. I'm like, yeah. He said, what if you get in trouble? What if you get police come? He said, don't worry, I'll show him what to do. So we kind of rehearsed what it's going to be like. But Nick, every cell of my being was saying, go home, go home.
Sure.
But since I'm amongst my, I'm amongst my fellows, I chose to stay. And a 13-year-old kid having $800 in his pocket within 2 hours was, my life changed. And, but if I wanted to keep doing this, selling this rock, I needed to be initiated into the fraternity.
Right.
And so I did.
What was
for the love?
What did that entail?
Oh, you sit in a circle with 5 of your friends and you fight them for 1 hour. I mean for 1 minute, 1 minute. But you can't fall. If you fall,
and you're using fists and
these right here.
Right.
So yeah, I didn't fall. I was just swinging for my dear life, and just screaming and punching and kicking, trying not to fall. The main thing was don't fall, getting hit in the back of my head.
How soon after that first night did you do the initiation?
That night.
Right, that night.
Excuse me, the next day. And so I was a part of that for many, many years of the fraternity. And the next day after I got initiated in, breathing hard, they gave me something in a brown paper bag. Right. I thought I've never drinking a beer, never did anything. They gave me an Old English 40 ounce.
Right.
And my mouth is dry. I just got through fighting 5 people.
Right.
And so I grabbed the bottle and I gulped it down. And it wasn't water. It wasn't sparkling water. And I liked how it made me feel.
Right. Sure.
I didn't throw up. I just liked it.
Right. Yeah.
And then they gave me something to smoke. I never smoked weed before. And they gave me, they said, hit this. He's like, you smoke weed? I'm like, yeah. My life changed after that, Nick.
So, and did you, you go to dealing from right from that point on, and are you making some serious money?
No, I was a kid, man. I was a kid. It was just people go to Vegas, they may hit the slots one time. Right. And that's it right there, right? But it was a gradual thing. I'm a child, I'm a kid, I had to hide from my mother, I had to hide from family, I had to, after school, go to school, do homework, cut up crack cocaine, go to school, do homework, cut up crack cocaine, drink, Boone, Strawberry Hill, 40 ounces, hang out, trying to hide as long as possible. So about a year, 18 months later, I was 15, and there was no more hiding it.
Right. And are you smoking at that point? Are you like smoking crack?
No, never did.
No, never.
No, never, never,
Feeling.
never. Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't my thing. Smoking crack, because I see what it did to people, and right. they told us never smoke this, never smoke this stuff. Wow, you sell it, you never smoke it.
That's amazing.
And yeah, so smoke weed, drink beer and carry guns and do some dumb stuff. But after that, man, my mom, she found like 5 ounces of rock cocaine in my room and told me to get out.
Right.
Because I got 2 sisters. Right. So after that, man, I left home at 15.
Where'd you go?
This crackhead, he was a manager of a motel, And so we would just feed him crack cocaine, and he'd give us a room.
Right.
And selling, start making a whole bunch of money. And then I bought a car at 15.
What kind of car did you get?
A lowrider, 69 Chevy Impala.
Right. Nice.
Yeah. I had to park it on the other side of the project because my mother didn't have a car at the time. So I had to park it on the other side of the projects. I couldn't even drive it because I was like 14, 15 years old. So my friend who was 16, he would drive my car for me.
Right.
And I'll sit in the passenger seat.
Right. Nice.
Yeah. Drink and just do what fraternity members do.
Sure. And then when does it start to go wrong for you?
Oh shit. I identified it going wrong when I went to juvenile hall because a friend of mine, we were selling rocks in the alley. This area will make like $1 million a week.
Right.
Wow. And I wasn't making $1 million a week, but the area, it will gross.
How much money were you making?
Maybe back then when I was a kid, maybe about $5,000 a month.
Right.
It's small, easy money.
Yeah.
Not really taking it serious. It didn't become a business to me until I got older.
Right.
It was just something to buy clothes with, help pay rent, food, clothes, in those areas right there. But I like drinking, man. I like how it made me feel.
Yeah. And how much drinking were you doing at that point?
And every day.
Right.
Every day. I got turned on to this thing called whiskey.
Yeah.
And started drinking whiskey. And gin and juice. That was our drink back in the day before Snoop Dogg made it popular.
Right.
But we would drink gin and juice, Seagram's gin and orange juice.
Nice.
And make money. So as time passes, I moved out, and I started going out of town. Start going to Oklahoma, St. Louis, Seattle, Washington.
And what are you doing on those trips?
Oh, we used to take drugs out there back in the day.
Right. How would you transport them?
I would use somebody that looked exactly like you.
Right. And
put them in army fatigues.
Right.
Because they're not going to mess with you.
No. And and would I be driving or on a plane or how?
No, you get put on the Greyhound bus.
Right. In a duffel.
Yeah. Put you in some army fatigues, blonde hair, blue eye guy.
Right.
And put them on the bus with a whole bunch of cocaine and send them up to Seattle. The police will actually help you get on the bus.
Sure.
Because you look like a soldier.
Right.
So if I got on the bus, I'm gonna get stopped.
Yeah.
So that's what we did, man, back in the day, and that's But yeah, life. Then I started taking it as a business, and started doing all that, my friend.
And how does the business of it work? Like, walk me through it a little bit. Like, you go
it's a business. It's a business. Yeah. It's like McDonald's.
Right.
They sell hamburgers. You buy low, you sell high. And seriously, and
sure. So you're buying it in your neighborhood basically, and then you're distributing it out to like Seattle and St. Louis, where you can jack up the price 100% or something.
Yeah, that's what it's like. When you read my book, Inside Job, it details all that. Actually, it just came out in the audio book not too long ago.
Oh, nice.
A couple of weeks ago. 7 hours of the journey of from life in a maze to an amazing life. But yeah, that's what we did, man. That's what we did in the 86, 87, 88, 89. It was that was most of us. That was our way out of the red line districts. Of the red line areas, which is the low income, high crime, and and that's what we were shown. That's what we were shown what to do.
And did it work? I mean, was it
It
working to get you out?
it did, yes.
Yeah.
It got me out of there. It got
Where'd you,
most of it got most of us out of there and
right.
moved to the suburbs.
Where'd you move to?
Torrance.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah,
And you,
move to Torrance. Some of my friends moved to Beverly Hills. Some of my friends moved to Santa Monica, Playa del Rey, and those
and
areas, my friend.
how much money were you making at that point?
$250,000.
Right. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a month.
That's amazing. What'd you do with all that money?
Spend it, gamble, have fun, women,
Right.
just frivolous stuff.
Did you buy a house?
Yeah, I had a townhouse. I had a building in St. Louis.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll put it, a friend of mine. In the 80s, everybody was corrupt.
Right.
Real estate agents were corrupt. All they wanted was money.
Right.
And so, with money talks, BS walks. And so that's what we will do. And so this is how we were being groomed. And but still on the inside, Nick, man, I wasn't happy.
Right.
I was not happy. I saw the results of what I was doing.
Right.
And I knew deep down that I wasn't created for that. But what
Right.
else I'm gonna do? Because we come from a disadvantage. I came from a disadvantage, unprivileged, basically. A lot of people don't understand when you're in that position. Oh, you need to invest in stocks or futures. Shit, we're worried about paying the rent next month. We're worried about all this stuff right here, man. And but when you get to that certain level, my friend, you need ease and comfort, and I found ease and comfort in Seagram's gin.
Right. And how is that affecting, your life and your business? Like,
It made me not feel.
right. So you're able to sell all this product and not, just kind of be in denial about the consequences.
Yeah. Yes, that's what most people do. Like my friend, this gonna blow your wig back. A friend of mine, his name is Freeway Ricky Ross, and he got into the game just to buy a car,
Right.
not knowing that Oliver North was gonna be the middleman to bring all this cocaine into the United States.
Wow.
Yeah, the Iran Contra scandal.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, those that was my mentor.
Wow.
Yeah, his connect was Oliver North.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. So it's deeper than that. But about this addiction, brother, and about all this other stuff, and about how to So make a long story short, what happened was my friend on February 6th, I called a case. I gave my co-defendants a couple of 3 kilos of cocaine to move for me, and because I was getting tired of it. I got plenty of money. I got stuff. I got a building in St. Louis. I got a townhouse in Torrance. But I'm unhappy. I got $500,000 in cash. Don't know what to do with it. I'm only 19 years old. I feel like an old man. I'm paranoid. I can't go back down to the area no more because I got to dress it down. I got to dress. I can't take nothing nice. Because where people hungry, you can't go in there high signing. And what happened was I was drinking some Jack Daniels, man, and I found myself in the bathtub, and I'm getting ready to make the ultimate sacrifice because I don't want to do this stuff no more. And what happened, my friend, was I was getting ready to make the ultimate sacrifice and taking my own life. But I decided not to because I couldn't kill my mother's only son.
Right.
I got arrested shortly after. I pled guilty to 20 years. I spent 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So I spent 17 years in the penitentiary.
Wow. How'd you get caught?
My co-defendants got arrested and they told the feds that I gave it to them. And,
Right.
you know, so that's how I got arrested and that's how I went to prison. So I pled guilty to 20 years because they came in my house and took all of my property.
Right.
How many 19-year-olds have this kind of stuff? And so I just, you know, I ain't gonna win in trial. And so
Did they take all your cash?
yeah, I took everything.
Right.
Seized all that stuff. And I went to prison, man.
Did you get to keep anything? Nothing?
No, it took all of it.
Right.
Yeah, so it took all that, man. And so I pled guilty to 20-year prison sentence, my friend, and did 17.
You had to serve 17 of it?
Yeah.
Wow. And what was that like?
It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible, man. It's like, have you been to prison?
No.
Okay. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous environment to live in a dangerous environment, and you got to bring ugly out every day.
Right.
So what they show on TV, I don't know who the hell is writing these prison scenes, but they're not accurate. They got some kid, somebody heard stories. None of that stuff is real. It's horrible, man. You got to be vicious. Do you like being angry every day?
No.
Just imagine being angry, bitter, and furious for 17 years every day, 24 hours a day. Because you want to make it out of there, Nick. So I made prison wine.
How do you make it?
Oh shit, with orange juice.
Right.
Orange juice, sugar, yeast, all that stuff, man.
And then do you boil it or does it do you just let it ferment?
Let it ferment, you make a stinger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, and you let it ferment for like 7 days and it's ready to, you shake it up and it's ready to go.
And how's it taste?
Like a wine cooler.
And does it fuck you up for real? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, I'll make it put you on your ass. I make some stuff that look like this.
Right. Oh, that clear, really? Wow.
Yeah. Yep, I'm skilled in there. When I was in USP Atlanta, I was in the prison at the federal prison in Atlanta, Georgia. These hillbillies from Stone Mountain, Georgia. His name was Possum. He had a possum on his forehead, and yeah, the possum. That's why they call him Possum. So I had some contraband that he liked putting it in his vein.
Right.
And so I said, I will give you some of that if you show me how to make this wine and how you ferment this wine into liquor. And he showed it to me, and I learned how to make it.
And where would you get the yeast? Just like buy it?
We're in prison. If we can get heroin in the kitchen, and if we can get heroin in prison, yeast is not a problem.
That's hilarious. During the pandemic, nobody could get yeast. That was everyone was baking so much bread they couldn't get the fucking yeast.
Are you serious?
Yeah, all the grocery stores were sold out of yeast.
That's funny. Yeah, if you in prison, shit, and you can getting all them drugs inside that prison, you can definitely get some damn yeast.
How'd you stay safe? I mean, did you have
I'm part of a big fraternity.
Right. And so everyone knows that when you walk into the jail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because they run it.
Right. So you're kind of taken care of, at least, like.
Yeah, it's an unnatural way to live, my friend. It's an unnatural way to live, and I'm glad that I don't live like that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's too hard, it takes too much energy. You got to do things that you don't want to do. It's all about self-preservation. And every time I was had to do something, I was always faded. I was drunk. I
Right.
was, because I had to get out of my right mind and be that vicious pit bull
Right. Right.
that bites,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
But one day, man, years passed, my friend, years have passed, and 5 years, 10 years, 15 years passed, 16 years passed. And one day on July 3rd, this lady, um, I was I was loaded in the day room and surrounded by killers, real murderers. And I nodded out in the day room, and they laugh and they say, "Hey, Ghost, wake up," because that's what they used to call me. That's what they used to call me. You know,
Nice.
Like wake up, and I'm like, I didn't hear them, and they pointing at me saying he's always been like that, which I always have, man. And I didn't know nothing else. And I woke up on July 3rd, 2005, and I said, God, I don't know what to do. Help me. And active providence came. An act of providence came walking across the prison yard with the counselor. Her name is Liz Tucker. And she was 70 years young. And she was wearing a white sweater with black elephants on it, carrying a pink box in her hand. And I didn't know what it was. I thought she was some kind of, religious person or something. And I followed her upstairs, and I said, "What's this?" And she said, "This is a program of recovery." I thought the deuces, because gangsters don't go to programs of recovery. We go hard in the paint like Shaq in his prime. We go into the casket drop, and she came out in the hallway, and she said, "Young man, would you like one of these donuts?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am," because I ain't had a donut in so long. And this 70-year young Jewish grandmother named Liz Tucker told my entire life story. She don't look nothing like me, but she felt like me. And she found a solution. And I was amazed.
What
I got sober for a donut.
what was it in her story that you saw in yourself?
She said that she never considered herself a drug addict because she never shot dope.
Right.
She was loyal to the foil. And what that means is putting heroin in a foil and smoking it through foil. And that's when you hear the term, I'm loyal to the foil.
Right.
And that was it. And I'm like,
This
I
is
looked at her, I'm like,
70-year-old Jewish heroin addict.
yeah, she was in recovery for 15 years when I met her.
Wow.
And I looked at her, I'm like, that's impossible. She said, I've been smoking heroin since in my 20s.
And
I looked,
where is this? Where are you at this point? What prison are you in?
I'm in my last prison. I'm in Terminal Island,
Where is that?
San Pedro, California.
Right. And so even though you'd been like passed out in the day room moments before from
That was the day before.
right.
I woke up July 3rd.
And but you didn't see yourself as an alcoholic.
No. Because I never been homeless. I just like it. Alcohol had lost its glamour. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It lost its glamour. Drugs had lost its glamour. It wasn't fun anymore. My body needed it.
So when she started talking, what was it that was it? Like, that was the thing?
Nah, man, she said some profound words I never heard before.
Like what?
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I never heard that before.
Sure. And I suppose in jail, there's got to be a whole new level to that prayer. Like, I mean, there's got to be so much shit that you can't change. And
Yeah, you could, you know. All depends on your status,
right,
you know. And I've been in prison half my life at
right,
this time and developed that reputation, you know, being rewarded for violence, praised for violence, and ridiculed for kindness. And I can never really be who I always wanted to be that person that God intended me to be, but I didn't know how to do it.
right.
But it took this 70-year young Jewish grandmother to put that foot in my ass and tell me to I could change the things I can. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And so then what happens?
Oh fuck, man. I I couldn't stay clean on the yard, Nick. So I had to tell one of the lieutenants lock me up. I stayed
Right.
in there. I stayed in there for 33 days because I'm getting out. I'm getting ready to be your neighbor.
How you're that close to getting out?
I'm that close to getting out, so I'm getting ready to be your neighbor, Nick.
Yeah,
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
So from there, I kicked in the whole 33 days. I didn't drop a deuce for like 8 days. I was all blocked up. But the lieutenant kept coming by giving me cigarettes and Hershey kisses
Right.
because, you know, and no
Do
Suboxone.
they know that you're in there trying to kick?
I told them.
Right. And at this
Because
point, you're smoking heroin as well? Like that's the thing that you're
yeah, because you would
right.
bring it to me.
Right.
You know, had them females or a correctional officer bring it to me, them females.
And how long had you been smoking heroin at that point?
12 years just to get high.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just to get high. Never shoot it, just smoke it.
Right. Yeah.
Lift weights. I was in tip top shape, man. I'm like, you know,
right.
a beast. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? And you know, I sold it. So it's like,
Right.
you know, just it's like you have a beer. I had me, had me some wine and some mix some weed and some heroin together and just get loaded.
Right.
You know, but all that shit stopped being fun, man. And then these people from hospitals and institutions, they would always come in, and I started hearing these stories from these strangers, and my life began to unfold, and they gave me a glimpse of what my life could be if I just stopped doing this right here. But I really couldn't believe these people because they're talking about, well, I've been sober for 20 years and I've been sober for 12 years and I've been sober for 2 years. And it's like, all you different people know each other. All you different people know each other,
Right.
know, because in the pen, you and me, we couldn't talk.
Sure.
Unless it's going to be some, some politicking going on.
Sure.
And but all these people, they all knew each other. You dig what I'm saying? And
yeah.
And from there, man, it was it was time to get out. I got out. I called them. They came to pick me up. They took me to a meeting. Now remember, I ain't had no coochie in 17 years.
Right.
So I got baby girl waiting on me to come over there and come hang out because I got like 4 hours before I got to go to the transitional house. Right. So I told Liz and everybody in this damn minivan to take me over baby girl's house. And they're like, no, we're going to a meeting at 7 a.m. And they took me to a meeting at 7 a.m. Called Marina Pacifica in Long Beach. And that was the first meeting I've been to. And Liz was like, go up there. You're going to lead the meeting. I'm like, it's 200 people at 7 a.m.
Right.
7 a.m. So I got up there and was like, hey, my name Ghost. I just got out of prison like 30 minutes ago.
Right.
And everybody's like, hey, Ghost. And I said, oh, yeah, she also said that I need to get a sponsor too. And so there was a whole bunch of men that's like, here's my number, here's my number. I was like, all this stuff, my friend. And my life has unfolded exponentially. I like to say that I've been a copycat my whole life. I just copied the wrong cats.
Right.
So now I copy the right cats, Nick, and therefore I produce similar results as these men. I got a beautiful home. I got children. I'm a father of 7-year-old twin girls. I work in a fabulous place.
What do you do?
It was I'm a clinical supervisor, Nick. I work in the prison.
Oh, wow. How cool.
Yeah, but it wasn't always like that. When I first got out of prison, Nick, I tore up Verizon wine signs. I cleaned garages. I worked for Jiffy Lube. I changed oil. I worked for DirecTV. I didn't want to continue to do that. I'm a smart dummy. I went back to high school. I graduated high school at the age of 38. And then I went to college. I went and got an AA degree. And then my friend, his name is Chris Lawford. I met him and he changed my life. I said, Chris Lawford. I'm like, why you telling me your first and last name? And I thought it was a job interview. But a friend of mine, he was like, this guy needs some help. And Chris Lawford is JFK's nephew. He's Peter Lawford's son. And
Right.
we became tight like that, and we became really good friends. And he introduced me to a new way of life. And he took me to meetings, introduced me to some people, and then these one people, they're like, "Hey DJ, we like your look. Do you think you could play a convict?" I started laughing. I said, "Why?" I said, "We work on this TV show. We would love to have you." I worked on that show for 3 years.
What show is that?
It was a motorcycle show.
Uh-huh.
We wrote motorcycle show.
Right, right.
So I helped out with the prison scenes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so I worked with, became part of the SAG-AFTRA union. I'm a union member. I worked with. It's funny, Nick, because I worked with people always. I used to watch in the day room.
Right.
Now I'm standing next to them, and I'm on set with these people. But then I felt right here.
Right.
I felt right here that I can do more than this.
Right.
People say, "What, you don't want to work with LL Cool J? You don't want to work with, on Sons of Anarchy? You don't want to work on these different shows?" I said, "No, I need to work with these addicts and these alcoholics." So I used my education and I put in a position for a clinical supervisor. And the crazy thing about it is, Nick, my boss was my counselor back in 93.
Wow.
Now he's my colleague.
That's wild.
Yeah, it
How long
is
have
wild,
you been there?
man. I've been there 6 years.
And as a clinical supervisor, what is it exactly that you're doing?
Cognitive behavioral therapy.
Oh, wow.
For reentry programs of inmates who have 18 months or less and qualify for this reentry program, that we prepare them to be upstanding. It's about the thinking. And so if your thinking changes, then everything else changes.
Right.
And so I designed a program after my life. If everything that I've done, I've documented everything and put it into a format that can be used as a therapeutic reentry program tool.
That's so cool.
It is, man. It is. It is. So yeah, man. So my boy Chris, he was like, DJ, you need to write a book.
Right.
And I took the time, I did that, man. So I wrote my book, man. And
And what's the book called again?
it's called An Inside Job, From Life
Right.
in a Maze to an Amazing Life. And I just released the audio book about a couple of weeks ago, and it's doing fantastic. I'm getting hit up from people from the UK, Switzerland, Thailand, Australia.
And can we find it on Amazon, or is it on Audible, or where do you check it?
Yeah. Go to Audible, man. I want, because I narrated it myself.
Right.
You know, it's 7 hours, so I'm actually narrating my own story.
How do you do that? Where do you go to do that? Did you have to go to some studio or something to record it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we did that. We got that together, man, and yeah, it's doing good.
And the guys in your program in jail that you're supervising pre-exit, do you then keep in touch with them at all once they're on the outside to check and see how it's working?
Yeah, we do have a management tool system that's going to track them. But after 2 years of the reckoning period, I have no contact with these men because they've been under my supervision. So
right.
ethically, I don't go look for them. I will have you to go contact them like every 6 months to check in with them. Right. But the beautiful thing about it is, Nick, is that the guys I walked the track with, the guys I sat in the day room with, the guys I sat in the chow hall with, when they watch an episode of Sons of Anarchy, they're like, that's the homie right there.
How long have you been sober now? How long has it been?
16 years.
16 years. Wow. And what happened to that lady, Liz Turner?
Tomorrow, Liz Tucker. Tomorrow, August 31st, was the day she took her last breath last year. She had a brain tumor. She was on hospice, and she died, and she made her transition from visible to invisible.
Right.
In front of me last year at 12 noon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, everywhere I've been, man, you know, I'll call her. Like, where are you? Hey, Liz, I'm going to Australia. Really? Liz, I'm in Paris. I'm in the Eiffel Tower. Liz, Liz, I'm in Egypt. Liz, I'm in Turkey. I'm in wherever I'm at, I'll call her. And I'll say, none of this would be possible if you didn't come inside that prison.
That's wild.
None of this would be possible. I wouldn't have my daughters if she didn't come inside that prison. My life wouldn't be the way it is right now if she didn't come inside that prison.
It's funny because at the start of this conversation, you tell that story of your buddy getting his car and he shows you the crack and you're like, every fiber in your body is telling you to run away from that. And, you know, clearly you have this like good, gentle soul inside you that then spent how many years in this sort of like
a violent environment? Yeah.
How old were you when you got sober?
36.
36. So
stop it.
Is that your dog?
No, my cat. He's crawling on me with his claws. I'm gonna cut him.
But that's wild that, like, you know, you're there and like 23 years later, like after this horrible sort of journey through the darkness, like you get this opportunity to sort of rediscover who you really are, you know, and
I'm living the life my soul intends me to live.
Claw your way back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's you know, I'm that present father. I'm that son I always wanted to be to my mother. It's a lot of work.
How are your sisters?
Oh, they're married with children, man. You know, they got a brother, you know, that, you know, They have a brother.
That's amazing.
I have people that I mentor because they want to copy me now.
Right.
You hear me? They want to copy me.
Yeah.
They want to be that. They want to be that copycat because now they want to produce similar results as me. So I take these men and women who ask me for that help, and I read some 12 steps to them, and we sit in my garage, and we have a meeting there. Come for, but yeah, this is what my life is boiled to now. I'm just a regular guy, my friend, and try to keep my palm down as possible. That means be of service. Let me help somebody, and yeah, man. So yeah,
Well,
life is good.
Let's keep in touch, and if there's anything I can do, any way I can be helpful, please don't hesitate to reach out to me.
Man, just share the link to the audiobook. Encourage all your listeners, your
definitely
friends,
will.
your family, and leave a comment when you listen to it. Leave a comment. The hard copy, I'm redoing the book cover so that they got a wrong price on there. Don't go to Amazon for my hard book. Go to my website, which is mrdjverrett.com. Go get that. Help me make this thing a bestseller, man.
All right. I'll be in touch, all right?
Peace and love.
Peace and love indeed. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. You can support this podcast at patreon.com/thedrunkalogs.